All right, we are live. Welcome everybody, and happy Friday to you. You know what? Let's set some mood lighting. While we do that, I'm gonna welcome you. It's our Friday live stream. I do this every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern. That is what time it is now. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so today I'm going to be going over a few pieces of streaming news. I'll announce a couple of winners because we're a couple weeks behind on the giveaways. By the way, check there you go. Yeah, there's the link. It kind of disappears my finger when I do that. Go check out the link. It's in the description, and you can go to that page and check out what it is we're giving away in any particular week. So you can bookmark that page, keep coming back to it. We pick a new winner every week, and I hope it's you. Now, that being said, next week, I hope that everybody within the sound of my voice is going to be tuning in next week to the live stream because it's the announcement for our dream job winner. Now, if you're not familiar with this, it's the dream job that, ooh, there we go, mood lighting. It's the dream job for the holiday movies, 25 holiday movies in 25 days. You watch that, you get $2,500 if you're selected as the dream jobber. What are we calling the holiday cheermeister? Yeah, chief holiday cheermeister. I think that's what we're calling it. Anyway, so it's not too late to enter that. You do still have today. And so, with that being said, let me see if I can pull up a URL for that. Chief holiday cheermeister. All right, there we go. So let me send you this link. I'm going to put that in the chat. So if you haven't applied for that yet, you're welcome to do so. The terms and conditions are all on that page that I just linked to. So please go check it out. You have until whatever time is designated in the terms and conditions today to get an application in for that. Super fun. Unfortunately, we can only select one person, but that person will get $2,500 and some streaming subscriptions and get to watch 25 holiday movies in 25 days. So there you go. But even if you're not selected, you should still want to tune in to that live stream because I'm going to be doing a bunch of giveaways during the live stream. So as we're going through, I'm going to be giving away some streaming services, some streaming devices, and I believe the grand prize toward the end of the stream is going to be a smart TV. I think last year when we did it, it was a 55-inch smart TV. So maybe a TCL. I can't remember what we did last year, but it was something like that. It's a pretty great prize. We don't scrimp on this, so it's a fun event that we do every year. Typically during these weekly live streams, we have maybe 100 people or so tuning in, and with those, typically it gets a little higher, several hundred. I think it was 2 years ago we had like 11,000 tuning in, so it's just a ton of fun. It's chaos. It's great. So I hope you're there. Wow, I just went for like 4 minutes on advertisements. Let's get to some streaming news. I'm going to get rid of this little thing, and let's do some news. And then once I'm done with the news, I will check out the chat. I'll get to your questions and all of that stuff. So the first thing I want to that I want to make sure we get to is the state of the Roku versus Google spat, whatever we want to call it, right? So Roku versus Google, it's a whole thing. If you guys missed it, this is something that happened like a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, maybe. Where here, let me see if I can show you on the screen. There we go. Roku's latest update reportedly breaks the YouTube TV app. So this is like I said, this isn't brand new information. This is something that came out a little while ago. It was a whole ordeal, but it was it was kind of one of those fun things where it's just, I mean, it's not fun for those who are adversely affected by this, but it is kind of, it's fun to see the two companies sniping at each other, and you got to think to yourself, oh boy, so Roku made their update. They must have intentionally messed up the YouTube TV app. I don't know that that's the case, obviously, but the little conspiracy theory portions of my mind start going crazy. Anyway, so yeah, they both acknowledged the problem, and Google hopped onto Twitter and was like, "Hey, everybody, yeah, we know it's a problem. Get Roku on it because it's their platform." So anyway, that being said, the update is with Roku versus Google. that there is no update. So if you're unfamiliar with the situation, Roku is essentially uh, Roku and Google have to come to an agreement to carry Google's apps and channels on Roku's platform. YouTube TV being the biggest ones. And they failed to come to an agreement on YouTube TV several months ago. We're talking like, what was it, March maybe? Maybe a little earlier than that. I can't remember, honestly. And so the YouTube TV app was removed from Roku's App Store. Now, you could still use it if you already had it, but you couldn't download it new. Anyway, so my prediction was that they would figure something out before the YouTube app itself met with the same fate. So, YouTube TV being live TV, YouTube being what many of you are watching me on right now. The deadline for that agreement is December 9th. That's next Thursday. So my reputation is on the line here. I don't have my mug with me, my I'm always right mug. But my reputation is on the line. I predicted that they would come to some kind of agreement just because especially Roku cannot afford to lose the YouTube and the YouTube TV apps from their app store. I guess I could be wrong. We're getting down to the wire, and there's no indication that the talks have been going well, that there's any movement on that. So I guess we'll see. The next time I talk to you, next Friday, that'll be mostly about the dream job stuff. But it is still something I might want to bring up and let you know what happened with that. So anyway, keep an eye on that one. All right. So let's see what else we got. Oh, I thought this was kind of fun. We've got data from Whip Media about the biggest shows, the biggest streaming shows and movies from the Thanksgiving weekend. So we were all kind of in the midst of Thanksgiving weekend last week when we had our live stream, and now we get to see the rankings of how all these shows and movies did. And here we go. The top 10. So this is the week of November 22nd through 28th. So this is Thanksgiving week. Hawkeye took the number one spot, followed by The Wheel of Time. Now, I haven't really talked much about the content. The Wheel of Time is an adaptation of a book series that I adore, that I've read for years. And so I was really rooting for it to do well, and so far it has. So thank goodness for that. Hawkeye, I have not dipped into yet, so I can't, say what the quality is. But yeah, a lot of interesting titles on here. I am watching Hannah. I never did get to You. I will be watching Arcane, and I am surprised to see that The Morning Show is cracking the top 10 here. But hey. That's great. I really enjoyed season 1 of that. So anyway, yeah, let me know in the chat, which I'll get to in a bit. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. In the meantime, let me pull up the movie version of this. And now this one is a little bit different. These are the top streaming movies for the weekend of November 26th through the 28th. So that would have been Friday through Sunday, Thanksgiving weekend. So it's not quite the same as that whole Thanksgiving week, but yeah, Red Notice. If you pay attention at all to marketing, basically, then you'll know that Red Notice is the number one Netflix movie of all time. Shang-Chi, Jungle Cruise, yeah, Dune obviously is gonna be on there. King Richard kicked off our Oscar season, and I love this because King Richard is definitely kicking off the Oscar race, right? So this is the time of year when all of the Oscar bait movies come out. And what's interesting to me is that this year, because the pandemic and the HBO Max stuff, King Richard, an Oscar contender, was released on streaming right away. So, it's in theaters as well. I believe you can go see it in theaters. But anyway, yeah, I thought that was interesting. Streaming really is, it's becoming the thing, isn't it? So anyway, yeah, there we go. What was I going to say? Oh, I did watch Red Notice. Let me know if you watched Red Notice. I thought it was, what would you call it? It's the platonic ideal of the Netflix movie, right? It's like, it's aggressively competent. It's fun. It's funny. It's kind got, twists and turns that mostly you can see coming from a mile away. But I thought it was fun. It's doesn't take itself too seriously. Everybody's having a good time with it seems. And so yeah, I enjoyed that one. All right, so there we go. Let's see. I feel like I had one more to go over. Oh yeah, that's right. This one from Cord Cutters News. I just thought I'd kind of kick out a recommendation that if you don't have this yet, you should be checking out the Roku channel. Now, the Roku channel is not just on Roku. You can also get it on Fire TV. I looked on Apple TV this week, and you can't download it there. I don't believe you can get it on Google TV, but I'm not sure. Somebody let me know if I'm wrong on that. I haven't looked recently. So anyway, but you can get it on Fire TV as well. But don't sleep on the Roku channel. If you enjoy free content, they're adding a bunch of stuff to the Roku channel this month. The most of the Die Hard oeuvre, Shaft, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now unconfirmed. I can't tell if that's if that's the 1990 masterpiece or if it's the somewhat competent remake, animated remake later on. Anime. We can call it animated. That's fine. And then some really classics, which this is one of those things where it's like it should be on your list. Something like Butch Cassidy, something like Edward Scissorhands, Unforgiven, definitely. Where there's these classics that should go on your I need to watch these list, and you never quite get around to it, especially if you're streaming a lot and you're like, well, I don't want to spend a bunch of I don't want to spend a bunch of money, just to rent a classic movie. Well, now's your chance. It's on Roku, the Roku channel for no charge. Let's see, romance movies, Chocolat, The Wedding Planner. Oh boy, I never did see that one, and I'm okay with that. But what was Grumpy Old Men. If you haven't seen Grumpy Old Men, anyway, I'm just pointing this out so that you know that the Roku channel is, I just wanted to point it out as a really, really strong contender for a free streaming service that you ought to have, whichever platform you're on. As long as you can get it, you should get it. So there we go. All right. That's our news. I did it in under 10 minutes. I mean, if you don't count all the yakety yak I did at the beginning. Anyway, so let's see. If you commented previously, I'll look back through it now and see what I can find out. But I don't make any guarantees. I'm going to miss a whole bunch of stuff. But hello to all of you. Joel was asking for Google and Roku news. Hopefully that answered your question, Joel. All right. Billy says, I hope I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I did. It was very nice. I did my live stream last week from my in-laws' house where I was having Thanksgiving, and we had a grand time. It was, very quiet and traditional and very fun, relaxing, which was nice. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that Paul likes the mood lighting. That's good. All right. Roma on Facebook says, pick me I assume for the dream job. I hope you do get picked, but I don't know who's going to get picked. I think the winner gets picked. It's sometime in the next week after we close the applications for today, or after we close the applications today for the dream job. So again, you know what? I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to share this one more time. The link to the dream job application. So if you're unfamiliar with the dream job, if you are selected as the dream job participant, you will be asked to watch 25 holiday movies in 25 days starting on December 10th. And for that, you'll get $2,500 and a bunch of streaming subscriptions, like 1 year subscriptions to a bunch of streaming services, including Hallmark movies now. So if you're a Christmas movie person, then it's kind of a must-have, right? Okay. Let's see. So George says, I wouldn't be surprised if the YouTube app gets removed from the Roku App Store. I continue to feel, even though we're only less than a week out from the deadline, I continue to feel like I would be surprised. Something's got to give. Roku, like they're the big kid on the block when it comes to device share, or share of devices in the market. But that doesn't mean that they have unlimited weight to throw around, if that makes sense. Like Fire TV has an enormous share of the market. Google TV is making inroads. Apple TV is holding steady. That one's not growing tons as far as I can remember, but I need to look at the numbers. Anyway, point being, people have options now. If you'd asked 5 years ago, Roku was kind of the only decent game in town. That's not the case anymore. So I feel like it's incumbent on Roku to figure out a deal, and I continue to feel like I'd be surprised if they didn't. So there you go. Yeah. This confused the heck out of me, Joel. Roku 10.5 was installed, then reverted to 10.0, then Roku fixed and reinstalled back to 10.5. Because 10.5 came out like a month or two ago. I remember downloading it, and then everybody was like, "Oh, it broke everything." And I'm like, "I've been using it for a while." Yeah, they must have made some changes. So YouTube's gone on Thursday. We'll see. Well, oh, and again, this is actually good to bring up. If you are a Roku user already and you have YouTube on your Roku device, you'll still be able to keep the app. You'll still be able to use that to watch YouTube videos. The app isn't completely being removed from the Roku platform. The app is being removed from the Roku App Store. So if you don't already have the app, you won't be able to download it new. That's the difference. So that being said, with software updates and whatnot, if it's not being supported, if it's not being updated, then who knows what's going to happen with those updates in the future. So, all right. So yeah, Michael Stoklasa was asking the same thing. So yeah, hopefully that answers that. All right. Deadline spark action. This isn't just true of corporations. This is true of me as well. I don't know how many of you watching right now are creatives, writers and podcasters and YouTubers. Hey, YouTubers of the world unite, whatever. If you're somebody who thrives on creativity, I've noticed this is definitely true of me, and it's true of a lot of the creatives that I know, that if you don't have a deadline, it ain't getting done. And that deadline better be tomorrow, right? So I know everybody's different. I'm sure there are some very strictly regimented creators out there, but for a lot of creatives like me, it's deadlines spark action. You should put that on a bumper sticker or a T-shirt or something, or a poster. You put that on a poster and sell it like as office art all around the country. There you go. Okay, let's see. Apple TV Plus has better shows than the morning show. I agree, but I do like the morning show. So, let's see. So Paul says 4, 5, and 9. I assume you're talking about the is that the show ranker? 4, 5, and 9. Let me pull that up again. See if I can. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna have to get rid of here, Paul. Yeah. Okay. So 4 is Cowboy Bebop. Tiger King is Tiger King. Wow, I didn't even notice that. And then 9, Arcane. So there you go. Paul says 4, 5, and 9. That's those are the good ones. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead, everybody. So if you made a comment, then I apologize if I missed it, but I'm gonna go ahead and skip ahead. Let's see what Frager has to say. This past Black Friday, I broke down and bought a smart Roku TV after searching high and low for a non-smart TV because I love my Chromecast, but confusing Fire TV, Roku TV, WebOS TV, Android TV. Okay, wait. After searching high and low because I love my Chromecast, but yeah, okay. So if I understand this right, you broke down and bought a smart Roku TV. You didn't want to get a smart TV, but that's all there is on the market now, right? And that's accurate. You can get some non-smart TVs, but if memory serves, I don't think I've seen a non-smart TV bigger than 42 inches in a couple of years at least. And most of them are 32 inches or 27 inches. I call them kitchen TVs, kitchen counter TVs, right? Those smaller ones that you can kind of put on a small countertop. And I feel your pain. Not all of us want to be, worrying about a smart TV platform, whatever. but it's the world we live in. We don't get to choose all the time. So I'm sorry you had to go through that. But let's see. You bought a Roku TV. The nice thing about it, I will say this. I don't have my okay. You guys can see the TV behind me. Okay, that is a TCL Roku TV. This is the Apple TV remote. And I can do this with Fire TV. I can do it with the Chromecast. I can do it with whatever. Okay, I'm going to hit the power button on my remote. You'll see kind of out of the corner of your eye, you'll see, okay, it popped up with the Roku platform, and then it immediately switched to that HDMI input. And went to the last thing I watched, Prime Video, because I was watching the Wheel of Time last night. Anyway, my point just being, you can actually set up, you can do, go away. Okay. You can get your settings on your Roku TV, and I assume it's the same on smart Fire TVs as well. You can set up the settings so that when you hit the power button, it automatically opens up to your preferred input. So if you've got your Chromecast plugged in, you've got your whatever else plugged in, then you can use a Roku smart TV and still make it operate like, your Apple TV or your Fire TV stick or whatever. So anyway, it's just, I should put that in one of my tips videos, right? Yeah, I need to do another one of those. Some Roku tips. Oh, okay. Oh, Paul meant the series. I'm sorry. Yeah, that is what I put up. Okay. George asks, is the Christmas thing for U.S. customers only? It is. Dream Job. It's because it's a U.S.-based company that, we're a U.S.-based company. It's very, very tricky and difficult to do the to hire somebody internationally. So yeah, I'm sure there are other reasons that our lawyers could tell you about, but I don't know them all. But yeah, US, you have to be eligible to work in the US, 18 or older. I think those are kind of the big requirements. I noticed that 32-inch Roku TVs do not have an Ethernet port. Why? I don't know. I don't know. My assumption, it's a decent question. Why don't they have Ethernet? My assumption would be that with a 32-inch TV, which by the way is smaller now than it used to be. Obviously screen real estate, 32 inches diagonal is 32 inches diagonal. But TVs used to be square, right? Now they're 16 by 9 or whatever. But they're so thin, they don't have a ton of room in these 32-inch TVs to get all of the hardware that would be required for something like that. And so, like if you look at take the PlayStation 5 or even PlayStation 4 back when it came out, you look at the profile of the one that includes the optical drive, so the disk drive, and the one that doesn't, and you'll see how much bigger the one with the optical drive is. Obviously, you have to have room for the disk to go in, but there's all sorts of other circuitry and gadgetry that makes that work. It's the same thing with something like an Ethernet port. It's going to be more difficult to design a sleek, low profile or slim profile TV with an Ethernet port if you only have so much room to work with. That's my assumption. But I don't know. Maybe you could tweet at Roku, find out. Or TCL, or whoever's making the one you're looking at. All right. Why do 4K OLED TVs look sharper and clearer than 8K LED TVs? Well, OLED is a remarkable technology. Now, ask me to explain how OLED works. I have no idea. It's a great question. I went to CES 3 years in a row, covered a bunch of stuff, talked to I don't know how many TV booths, and had people explain to me what OLED is, and I have no idea. Okay, so all right, you know what? That just means we need to look it up right now. What is OLED? All right, what's an OLED TV? Organic light emitting diode. Okay, so yeah, again, basically it's wizardry. I just wanted to know what it stood for. I couldn't remember the organic part. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it all works, but the OLED stuff is remarkable. So if you get an 8K OLED, then woof, you're looking good. But all right. Oh, Paul meant Dune, King Richard, and Tick Tick Boom. All right, 3 great films. I did love Dune a lot. Um, okay, well, it's official. I need to do a tips video because yeah, it's one of those things that when I figured it out that you could set your automatic inputs, I was like, great. I do that for my kids down at in their the TV that they tend to use in the basement. I have a Chromecast set up down there because it has great parental control features on it. And so now whenever they turn that on, it immediately turns on the Chromecast, and so they can't do everything else on the TV. They can only use that parentally controlled Chromecast. Anyway, stuff like that. All right. 32-inch Fire TVs have an Ethernet port. Well, ooh. Um, yeah, if it's, I imagine that an Ethernet port is not very important to the bulk of users out there. But I know that for a few people, yeah, especially if it's your primary TV, you don't want any lag time on that. So yeah, I can see how an Ethernet port um, would be important. I'm in the Netherlands right now on vacation. You can still apply. I mean, you're 18 and older and eligible to work in the US. Doesn't mean you have to be in the US at the exact moment that you apply. So, sorry, I'm skipping around a lot. I'm just trying to keep up with all these Q and A's. There's an author buddy of mine who does Q and R's on Facebook. I should put that in the titles from now on. Q and R, because he says I may not be able to answer you, but I can at least respond. Question and response. When I started streaming, used a Nintendo Wii. That is fantastic, and I love that. I do remember when the Wii came out, and you could get or it wasn't like right when it came out, but eventually you could get Netflix on your Wii, and I remember kind of rolling my eyes a little bit. But I did the same thing. I had a Wii U eventually, and that came. I don't think it was preloaded with Netflix, but I got it. So let's see. I have 2 Chromecast with Google TV devices, and would you recommend people get the older devices of Chromecast or Chromecast with Google TV? Great question. Okay, so right now there is okay, so I'm going to leave this up because it's going to take me a second to answer. Chromecast with Google TV. All right. So right now, I'm just pulling up the Google results page. Let's pull that up on screen. Here we go. All right. Right here, you can see at the Google store itself, $40. Let's see if we can kind of blow that up a little bit. So $40. Yeah, it's on sale right now. It's normally $50, but it is on sale for 40. The regular Chromecast, third gen is okay. $30 looks like I can get it for 20 at Walmart right now. Usually goes for 30. Okay, so let's just compare that. So the older device, $30. Well, yeah, 20 if you go to Walmart, versus 40 for the new model. I don't know your budget. Okay, so I can't say what is right for you. However, I can say that generally speaking, I definitely recommend the new Chromecast with Google TV. Why? Because if you want to use it like it's intended to be used, with the Google TV interface, using the remote, all that stuff, if you want to use it that way, you can. Um, if you like the old model of just using your phone as the remote and casting to your screen, it does all of that. It's not this new model is not it doesn't get rid of anything that the old Chromecasts could do. It just added to it. And I think that's worth the extra $20, especially because I really, really like the Google TV platform. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect, but I love the recommendation algorithm. It's so easy to find stuff to watch when you sit down and flip on the TV. So yeah, I do recommend that you get the newer device. That being said, you already have 2. Why are you getting another one? Maybe it's just like if it's like I said, a kitchen TV or a garage TV, something where you just want something on kind of in the background while you're working or doing dishes or cooking dinner or whatever, then maybe buying the older devices it makes more sense. So you don't have to spend as much to fill out all of the TVs in your house. So yeah, um, that's the best I got. Hope that helps. Okay. Let's okay, now that we've got a few people here, let's announce some winners. What do you think? I'm going to throw this back up for just a moment. Just a reminder, we do giveaways every week. You can go to reviews.org/giveaways. It's in the that link is in the description, so you can click on that. And we did giveaways for 2 weeks in a row. I want to say it was $50 Amazon gift card. This was all about Black Friday and Christmas shopping and all that stuff. And so I'm pleased to announce 2 winners for that. We have, first of all, Prasanti Gutakonda. I hope I said that right. I probably didn't, but Prasanti, congratulations, and Betty McCombs. Much easier for me to pronounce. So Prasanti and Betty, congratulations. I hope you're here on the stream. Even if they're not, we'll email them about that. And we do these giveaways, like I said, every single week. So make sure you go check out that page. It's super, super easy to throw your name in the hat. And there's no gimmick involved or anything. This is really just us saying thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. And we want to do something fun for you guys. So we do these giveaways every week. Anyway, so yeah, go check it out. And congratulations to Prasanti and Betty. All right, so let me get back now to the Q&A stuff. Let's see what I've missed out on. When will the Chromecast devices have storage like Roku devices? Okay, so they do, actually. I believe, with the exception of the Roku Ultra, right? But if you're talking about the Streaming Stick Plus, I believe they're both 8 gigs as far as storage capacity. The problem is that the Chromecast is, or I should say, Google TV as a platform, as an operating system, is so robust. And I think so nice, but it's so robust that it takes up a ton of that storage space. And so you have a perceived storage capacity that's much less, or I should say a usable storage capacity that's much less than a Roku device. And that is one of my major complaints with the new Chromecast, where, this isn't necessarily going to be a big deal to everybody, but since I'm a reviewer and I'm downloading tons of apps all the time to check them out, I ran into my limit. I think I bumped into a limit at like 15 or 16 apps on the Chromecast. And I was confused about that because, yeah, I'm like with the Roku, I think I had 116 at some point. Most of them were smaller, but still 116 apps versus 15 or 20 on the new Chromecast. So yeah, it's frustration. I hope they fix that with the next generation, but we'll see. What is the best streaming service for copyright-free silent movies from the 1910s and 1920s? Is this? I feel like I'm being punked right now, or is this this is Stump Craig? This is Stump Craig. I am gonna look this up, but before I do, I'm gonna guess that it might be classics or Peacock. No, it's not. Well, maybe Peacock might have a few old ones. I don't know about silent movies, but they do have a lot of the old Universal library. That's a great question. Okay. All right. Now that I've said that, where to stream silent movies? All right. Where to stream silent movies? No, not the UK. Silent film. You're killing me. Free silent movies. Okay. Aha. It would appear. What an interesting question. Okay. It's like George, you're like a fun troll. But now, okay, here we go. It would appear that in the Roku App Store, there is something called free silent movies. So there you go. I don't know what this logo is about, but there you go. Free silent movies. I wonder what this. Yeah, there you go. So there you go. Silent movies dominated until the late 1920s. All right. And now we have free silent movies. Ooh, even better. So there you go. Great question. You guys kill me. Oh, that's fun. Um, Turner Classic Movies. I don't know how much silent movie content they're gonna have on TCM, but you should try TCM if you like the classics. All right. Oh, interesting. Okay. I've heard about these, but I've never tried to use one myself. But John says if you don't have an Ethernet port on your TV, if this is important to you, try an on-the-go cable with an Ethernet jack and plug it into the USB 2.0 port on the TV. The standard for USB 2 and 3 will pass through internet. So there you go. Hey, that's a good solution. I love that. Thank you, John. That's awesome. Like I said, I'd heard of that, but I haven't ever had to use it. So I didn't even think of that. That's great. All right. My 42-inch Insignia has an Ethernet port. It's 4K. All right. Okay. I have had close to 300 apps, says Pam, on my Roku stick. Of course, I didn't watch them all and have cleaned it out, but still have around 100. Yeah, I think I capped out at like 140 or 150. But it drives me crazy to like if it takes me a long time to scroll through everything. So I clean mine out fairly frequently. But yeah, there you go. All right, you guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I feel terrible. I got my booster shot a day or two ago. Was that 2 days ago? And I feel like garbage. So I think I'm going to call it a little earlier than normal today. I hope that's all right with you. But if you have any last minute questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Regardless, I will be here again next week at the same time, and I hope you will too, because it's going to be the announcement for the Dream Job Shearmeister, whatever we're calling it. So I'll throw this in one more time. Go check out the holiday movie Dream Job, and let's throw it on screen so you can see it. So there you go. The Ho Ho Holiday Movie Dream Job. Watch your favorite holiday movies and get paid. It's so easy to apply. So you can see all of the details here. Let's zoom in a little bit. Got some ideas of what you can watch. Submit your application down here at the bottom of the page. And yeah, we'll see what we can do. With this one, it's just fun. So you apply, come next week, check out the live stream next week. Even if you're not selected, we're doing a bunch of other giveaways. I'll have fun things to do during the live stream. It'll be even more collaborative and fun than our regular ones are. So yeah, please be there. Thank you for being here this week. And yeah, get some rest and take pain meds. I think I'll go do that. Yeah, it's good advice. So I'm going to go do that. All right. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you next week.